In all of my years of reviewing BOTM, one figure that I've been sleeping on reviewing is this little Zuniceratops. I got it, I like it, but I didn't really feel like I had much to say. But now I feel like my hands are being forced to finally talk about it because we just got an early look at the upcoming repaint, reissue right there. Look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful. Of the Albino Zuniceratops coming out in the upcoming wave from Beasts of the Mesozoic. Thank you, David Silva, for sending this out, and let's do a little comparison review of the old Zuni versus the new one, shall we? Move this. You're not supposed to see that yet, audience. When the ceratopsians were initially released and I was just getting into BOTM for the most part, I got the Diabloceratops and the Nazudoceratops on the Kickstarter. And then as soon as I got addicted to them, I bought this little guy because he was the cheapest one. And I really like this figure, I genuinely do. But first of all, I'm just gonna jump into my only real complaint with this sculpt as a whole that kind of like sours it in comparison to the other ceratopsians for me a little bit. It's just this jaw. I really don't like the way this jaw kind of looks on this body size and the way it sort of articulates sort of midway down the ceratopsian's jaw. It doesn't look the best. It's not overly distracting, or it's not like a deal breaker for me, obviously. But on the old Zuniceratops, it also had a little bit of like, it looked slightly discolored from the rest of the face and didn't quite look in place. Besides that, I really didn't feel like I had much else to say. This old Zuni is just absolutely lovely to look at. Beautiful colors. I love the bright scarlet, like reds and oranges on the frill on the face with the dark blue stripes, and then that bright blue tail is really beautiful. And it even has metallic silver on the midsection, which is crazy and really cool addition. I do kind of wish we got more ceratopsians that were this body size. I think the Avaceratops should have been this body size, honestly. Compared to the one that we have in the line. But anyways, I digress on that. But yeah, this little guy is great, but it is honestly blown out of the water when compared to the new version. Now, granted, this is a different color scheme, or mostly. It has the same patterns on it because this one is an albino Zuniceratops. So it's an albino version of this one, pretty much the same one. And my goodness, first of all, the paint quality and just the application across this whole thing, beautiful. The articulation also just feels smoother out of the box. The joints are less tight, but they still feel like they've got plenty of friction to them, so they're not going to, you know, snap. The tail on this one attached without any hot water or hair dryer, which is very, very nice, I must say. And the color matching between the lower jaw piece and the upper jaw piece is much better on this one and makes it so it's like not distracting at all except for when you're moving it. I do still kind of wish that the head piece was updated on this one with a new style of jaw, maybe more akin to what we see on the Diabloceratops and the Nazudoceratops, but I think it's okay. It just really doesn't look the best. It doesn't seal and it doesn't open as much as I would like it to, and the cheeks have like these weird folds like pinching inwards. But for how small it is, I can be forgiving, and also just for the updated quality and the paint on this one, I think it's fine. But since we're talking about articulation, let's jump in and let's do a quick little articulation demo to show off the range of motion on this guy. Or these guys, I should say. A big thank you to my channel members, particularly Raphael Tree Kangaroo and a Trash Bug for being Spino Chads. If you want to become a member and support my future content, click the big join button next to my name down below. But yes, wasn't that lovely? Wasn't that beautiful? This body size has a lot of expressiveness for being the smallest 1/18th ceratopsian in the main line of ceratopsians, besides the mini Protoceratops that came out in Psittacosaurus. But it's very nice. And rolling around to the colors again quickly, one thing that really surprised me on this one in hand, that really sold me and made me prefer the color scheme over this one, even though this one has blue on it, and I love my blues, is the fact that there's actually metallic paint. There's like pearlescent white paint over the white sections of the body. And my goodness, it just looks absolutely beautiful. There's also some like subtle hints of like some pinkish colors to sort of bring out that sort of semi-transparent skin look that some albino creatures have, which is really, really cool. And yeah, just in general, like there's not much to really talk about when you put these two next to each other, which I'll put footage up, of course. It is really just night and day in terms of paint quality. And granted, this Zuniceratops is still, you know, I still think is fine, but especially for the time it was released, it was one of the first ceratopsians that came out for the line. But we've just come such a long way, and the new paint quality is absolutely incredible. Now, given that this is a ceratopsian, this one doesn't come with any accessories like a base or anything, but it does come with a collector's card, if I can get it out here. This collector's card was done by, or the art was done by Gabriel Uguero, and has beautiful illustration of the albino Zuniceratops trudging through a swamp with a little bird right there. And you've got your facts on the back of the card, of course. And yeah, I feel like there's just not much to say about this one, other than it is a vast improvement over this other one that I already felt like I didn't have much to say about. It is, like, it's a cute figure, and I like this pose. I've left him in this pose since I got him like 2 or 3 years ago now at this point. It's a cute figure, but I felt like it could be improved in a lot of ways, and besides the actual jaw joint being updated on this one, I feel like all of the improvements went above and beyond. This one really enters the beacon area of just what other dinosaurs do you see with colors like this? Like, this one looks so natural because it's albino. It's got the red eyes and the pinks on it and the translucent kind of metallic-y looking skin with the yellow markings. Just the fact that it's shiny, pearlescent white and yellow makes it such an eye catcher up on the shelf. I'm definitely going to have to keep this one now, even though I wasn't planning on getting it. So thank you, David Silva, for sending this to me and contributing to my BOTM addiction even more with one that I wasn't planning on getting. That's the curse of dealing with these figures, unfortunately. But for a quick little measurement from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, on average, because these are articulated, I'm going to say these are about like 8 inches long. And in terms of the height, we are talking about anywhere between like 4 to 4.5 inches on average. Dimensions are going to change depending on the pose you put it in, of course, yada yada. I think if you are starting out collecting BOTM, I would recommend one of the larger ceratopsians or something like the Styracosaurus or the Medusaceratops to get you kick-started. I think those are really good middle range of just size, but also articulation, and are generally more affordable than the larger ones, of course. But if you really like the line, like genuinely like it, I really recommend adding these. They just add a different size range to your dinosaurs for the collection in 1/18 scale, of course. And if I had to pick between either one, there is a new updated paint variant of this one. This is the first release version I have of this Zuniceratops, but this one just came out, and I think that there's just nothing else in the ceratopsian line that looks quite this ethereal paint-wise, in my opinion. It just looks really, really cool. Like some of those Native American white buffalo legends, which is awesome. So if I had to pick one, I'd say go with this one just for uniqueness. But if you want to go safe, if you're not sold on the metallic colors on that one, this one's still good to go with. I still think this one looks very cool overall. Very classic.
Man, what is that up there? Oh my gosh, it's a carrier pigeon. It brings me a note. Let's see what the note says. Wow, this note is telling me to tell you to subscribe. So you better subscribe or you'll make that pigeon very sad, and we don't want to see that pigeon sad. It also says here that it costs nothing. The pigeon will be super sad if you're not taking his free samples if you don't subscribe. So you better do that, because the pigeon will be happy and he'll have lived a nice, happy pigeon life for the rest of his life. It all is hinging on you.